This lesson is solving rational equations, part 3. Here at the example, I have one fraction subtract another fraction equal a third fractions. I'm going to rewrite this line down here. Again, I'm going to rewrite this line down here. So this is the same. This is also the same, except this, the denominator is being factored. This denominator is already factored. This denominator is already factored. However, this denominator is not factored. So we will factor x squared plus 6x plus 5 into x plus 1, x plus 5. Okay, so the reason why we need to factor this denominator so that we know what are the denominators are. Okay, one more time. We need to factor this denominator so that we know what are the denominators. And as you can see, x plus 1 and x plus 1 are the same, so we just write it one time. Here, same thing, x plus 5 and x plus 5 are repeated, but out here, just write it one time. And the reason why we are using the denominator so that we can multiply and cancel out its own denominator. Okay, so one more time. This is already factored. This is already factored. This is not factored. So we need to factor x squared plus 6x plus 5 into x plus 1, x plus 5. Now we know what are the denominators are. We use the denominator to multiply so that we can cancel the denominator later. Okay, so here I have x plus 1, x plus 1. Since they are repeated, we just need to write one time. X plus 5 are repeated, so we just need to write one time. Okay, now we will use this to multiply to this line right here. So as you can see, x plus 1, since they are the same, they are being canceled. All you have left is 2x and x plus 5. One more time. This x plus 1, this x plus 1 are the same, so they are canceled. So you just have 2x and then x plus 5. Bring down the negative. This multiply to the second one. And here I have x plus 5 and x plus 5. They will cancel out. All you have left is 3 and then x plus 1. Next to the third one, this is multiplied to the third one. Since I have x plus 1, x plus 5, this is also x plus 1, x plus 5. They are being canceled. Both of these are being canceled. All you have left is just negative 8x squared. Okay, and as you can see, all of the denominator are gone. Again, use the denominator to multiply so that it can be canceled out. Okay, and as you can see, this line right here, there are no more denominators. Okay, after that, we still have multiplication, so let's distribute. So 2x times x, 2x squared, 2x times 5 is 10x, negative 3 times x, negative 3x, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, and this negative 8x squared, we didn't do anything to it, so bring it straight down. Now we need all the numbers on this side, so combine like terms. Since this is negative, I would do positive 8x squared, okay, to both sides. So then 8 plus 2 gives me 10. Okay, this 8x right here are being canceled, so I have 0. However, here I have 10x minus 3x, so 10 subtract 3 gives me 7. And then bring down this 3 down. Okay, and now we have 10x squared plus 7x minus 3 equals 0. So this is a trinomial. So I have A, B, C. So I will do the x method. So A is 10, B is 7, and C is negative 3. Now I'm going to do on the side right here. So A times C. So A times C. So 10 times negative 3 gives me negative 30. And then 7, which is B down here. The only two number gives me 30 and 7 is 10 and 3. However, 10 must be positive, 3 must be negative. And the reason is 10 times negative 3 gives me negative 30. 10 subtract 3 gives me positive 7. Okay. Next, Since a is not 1, we have to divide by a. And a is 10, so we have to divide by it. One more time. Since a is not 1, we divide by a. Okay, so bring the 10 down. So this top 10 is the 10. The bottom 10 is the a. So we're dividing by a. Bring the negative 3 down and then divide by a, which is 10. Okay, next reduce. So 10 divided by 10 gives me 1 over 1. And then negative 3 over 10 is just negative 3 over 10 because this cannot be reduced. Okay, next we're going to use this right here and write it in factored form. So we're going to use this right here where I'm circling and write it as factor form. And to write factor form, bottom first, top second. Bottom first, top second. So 1, there's the 1, okay? And then top plus 1, okay? Next, 10, x, and then minus 3, minus 3. Okay, so again, bottom first, top second. Okay, and this is the factor form of 10x squared plus 7x minus 3. So x plus 1, 10x plus 1, 10x minus 3 is the factor form of 10x squared plus 7x minus 3. Okay. However, we don't want the factor form. We want the answer. So to do the answer, we need to opposite of it. So opposite of plus 1, minus 1. Opposite of this is positive 3 over 10. And you can see it from here. The opposite of positive 1, negative 1. The opposite of negative 3/10 is positive 3/10. So this is my answer right here, which is exactly what I have over here as well. Again, since I'm solving, I want the opposite. Okay, so after you reduce, the opposite, and same here as well. So that will become our answer, which is exactly what I have here. Okay, so be very careful. However, even though we have two answers, we have to check. And the reason why we have to check is because negative 1, if we go back to the original problem, so this is our original problem, if we go back and put negative 1 in, right here, if we put the negative 1 in, negative 1 plus 1 will give me 0. I cannot divide by 0. So therefore, negative 1 is not the solution. But positive 3 over 10 is the solutions. So again, even though you have two answers, we have to go back and check because sometimes it is not the solutions. Okay, and this is how we check. Very easy. Go back to the original problem, put the negative 1 in right here, put the negative here. Negative 1 plus 1 gives me 0. I cannot divide by 0. So therefore, negative 1 cannot be the solution. So negative 1, we throw it away. The only solution that will work is the positive 3 over 10. Okay, so one more time, make sure find the answers. Once you have the answers, you have to check the answers because sometimes the answer is not true. Okay, so again, how do I know it's not true? Take the answer that you have right here. This is the answer, and check. Just plug it in. So put the negative 1 in. Negative 1 plus 1 gives me 0. I cannot divide by 0. Okay, so that's why negative 1 is been thrown out, or no solutions, or undefined, because it doesn't work. The only one that works is 3 over 10. Okay, so be very careful.